Hey, welcome back to the Art and Creativity channel. Today we're going to talk about some art ideas that I believe you could fill whole galleries with these styles of art. It's not just a doodle this time. It's just it's different art styles that you could come up with and fill walls full of these different styles of art. So these are just some drawings I did. The mediums here, if you have them on hand, is you're going to have maybe some colored pencils around, and got some pastel and chalk, and I always have a Sharpie, remember, in the video. Speaking of that, in the welcoming video, the first video I did, talked about how as an artist sometimes you wear coveralls or something when you paint. I always have my robe on and my hat, and I got my tea. I hope you have all your stuff. So I hope you're doing well today. It's a struggle out there for a lot of people, and I hope today's a good day for you. I hope this video brings you some joy and peace in your life. Well, let's talk about these art styles. This is the first one. I'm going to go ahead and bend this camera down here so you can see what's going on, and I'll talk about them as we go. All right, so this first one that you can see here is just it's chalk, and you can break your chalk in half. You see that piece of chalk? You can break it in half to get and just drag that chalk on there like this. The dark black line is all chalk. The red background is also chalk. And these squares were done with pastel. I just left that white. But what the trick is here, most of my art the drawings, I do them so that I can tape pieces of paper together and make giant wall hangings out of it. And you can do this too at home, and that's what a lot of this channel is going to be, is how you can make these giant pieces of wall art out of pieces of paper. So as you can see, here's two pieces that I did, and they hook together. You see how the black line goes from this page right into this one? And you can imagine if you taped a bunch of these together and framed that, you'd have a big piece of art. All right, let's move on. I'm going to go through these pretty quick so you can just have some ideas. But that right there could be a nice piece to hang above the couch. Same here, this one's all just chalk. Let me hold some of these up as I go, maybe. You just take chalk. I did the yellow and the orange, and then I kind of went around it with the blue, and then I just rubbed it with my finger. But again, two pieces of paper. If you tape it together, you could do 12 pieces of paper like this in no time, tape it together, and you'd have an amazing, beautiful piece of art. So that's number 2. We're doing 10 ideas today. Here's another one. This one's just chalk. Just some chalk squares. Same, just take different colors of chalk. Draw out your grid first, and then put your chalk in the color it in. It just takes no time to make something like this. And you want to match up the lines. So that's 2 pieces of paper, but if you did 4 or 5, maybe 8, 9 pieces of paper, you'd have a big piece of wall art. Tape them together. I'll show that in one of the videos about taping. Here's another one. This would be kind of cool, I think. If you took a piece like this, just drew your little circles, colored them in with chalk, did maybe 3 pieces that went this way, and then you'd have one layer, and then you'd do this underneath it and do another layer like a cake, and then you'd put this one under it again, and then this one under it again, so you'd have all these alternating layers of these 2 designs. That'd be I think that'd be a cool piece. All right, here's another drawing idea. So the background's chalk, and then there's chalk squares, and then you take a pastel and scribble over the top of the chalk squares. But you could do you'd do 9 or 10 pieces of paper like that in about an hour or 2, and you'd have a beautiful piece to hang of abstract art to hang above your couch. Or you could fill a whole gallery full of that stuff, different styles of it. This one's a little different because This one's the only thing this is colored pencil. And you just take your paper, let me hold this up. And you could just tape these together too, but you just kind of scribble back and forth with the pencil. And let me show kind of how I do it. I just kind of, just back and forth with the pencil. Kind of creates texture. This is another one of our ideas today that you, so with this, and now imagine 10 or 12 pieces of paper all taped together, and I'll make another video where I show some of the pieces that I've done that I've taped together that are huge. But this, it's basically patterns. So you do this, I just drew a shape with a dark pencil, draw a shape, and then color in the shape with chalk. Shapes with chalk, and then do 10 or 12 pieces of paper. This one here is easy because this is really cool. I like this one. It's a heart shape type of a quick. You take your pencil, draw a quick heart shape, but almost in this movement, just a real quick, draw the heart shapes, and then take chalk, fill them in, and kind of rub the chalk. You could do a bunch of pieces of paper, make a piece of art like that. I do a lot of chalk because it's fast. Here's another one. You could do a bunch of pieces of paper like that, and that's all. This was chalk. This is chalk and pastel. So the background's chalk, the black is chalk, and the gray is also a gray chalk, but it also has gray pastel over it. So the gray and the red are chalk, and then red and gray pastel over the top of the chalk. And this is just a thing where this would be really easy because you just take your pencil and go like that across, and then come back across it real fast. Don't be apprehensive, and then color in the things. You could do a bunch of stuff where you did color in designs like that. But that's 10 ideas that you could make for wall art. Let me turn the camera back up here. And thank you for tuning in today. I'm going to share a lot of different ideas, and I have some really good ideas that I'd like to share with you. I was like I said in my first video, I was a gallery showing artist. I showed my art and sold it in galleries a while back, and I'd like to share it with you so that maybe you could get some ideas. And I remember one time when I showed this in a gallery, and I had a couple kids come in, and they had sketch pads, and they started drawing. All my art was on the walls, and there was people coming in and looking at it. And these two kids came in with their sketchbooks, and they drew my artwork. So we'll get to that down the road of how you can make art from a doodle. I'm not kidding. You can make gallery. I learned to make gallery art just from a doodle. Anybody can do this stuff, and I'm going to show how you don't have to be skilled to make wall art and actually make a living off art. You don't have to have a lot of skill to do it. You just have to be creative and original. If you can do that, then you're good to go. But tune into the next one. And I thank you for coming back, and we'll do some more ideas, maybe read some poetry, play some guitar or something, and I'll show you how you can make some gallery award-winning art with just a doodle. Stick with us, and we'll get to that. Thanks for tuning in. See you on the next one.